Kev, you all right?
Oh, yeah.
Come and join us.
Yeah. Are you on live?
Yeah, come on. I feel like we're the new Richard and Judy.
Yeah.
So you can go.
Keeping
That side. So yeah, it makes your face go the other way around, doesn't it? You look a bit weird. So
my partings.
Yeah, that's same as. So happy. Get a little bit Botox. Well, being manager of Southend is probably a tough one.
I was looking at my photos 2 years ago.
Well, 2 years ago today, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean,
21st, I think, that Thursday.
Yeah. So how do you? I must be very proud of what you've been able to achieve in exceptionally difficult circumstances.
Yeah, I think you didn't realise it was going to be like this for 2 years, obviously. But you look at where the team is, and I know the league position is what it is, but that's not for any fault of, we've had points deducted. So no, absolutely delighted with everyone, the staff and everyone, the players that we've got, and the ones we've recruited and the ones that have been with us all the way through. Some that have been, come and gone, and been enjoyable, challenging.
Yeah,
I enjoy going to work every day.
What have been the proudest moments that you've had? There's been quite a lot, haven't there? It's been a good time.
No, it has. Yeah, I think if you look back at the 2 years, I think even to see the attendances what they are, because when we first come in, I think the game before was just over 3,000, I believe, something like that. Yeah. We've had 8,000, 8,500 coming through the gates. And the noise, I think, the atmosphere that we had at games, despite everything that's gone on, away games and the following we take away from home.
Yeah.
I think there's Barnet last year. There's one that I can off the top of me, but there's loads.
Yeah.
There's loads. And I think, what the fans have done for the players as well, and how they've stood by them and me and the team as well. I think that's, without one thing, but an overall thing, I think that's been huge. Did
you know it was going to be this tough? Obviously, Southend. Is it tougher than even you thought when you would come in?
Yeah. I think that there's stuff you deal with that isn't normal.
Yeah.
I think you'll obviously know a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that is non-football related that you've got to deal with, and I think that's probably the hardest bit, because all you want to worry about is football, and what a great game that is. And it's a football club that should be focused on football.
Yeah. How do you get through? Obviously, we're here for mental health today, but your mental health must have been really I know you've got a very nice family, very close together. That must help you.
Yeah, I've got 3 boys who come to the game and they come in their shirts and that. And I'm not afraid to admit, I go home some days and lie on the sofa and you're in bits, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where the missus and kids and that pick you up. And you've got to be resilient and keep going as much as you can. So, there's been tough times, absolutely. I think that you're pulling your hair out and you're going, what's going on, like? But, I think having good people around you, John Steele, Benno, Daz, everyone, Tom at the club, helps. And without them, I don't think you can do the job that you do.
And it's important in life, isn't it? You rely on the people that are around you, and you have that. You have the really good staff, and you have that good group of players, and you've almost become closer together during these tough times.
No, 100%. And and because of the difficult times, and I think what you don't get is a time to step back and reflect and go, wow.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time? Yeah. There's always something else that comes along.
Yeah.
So, listen, but what we always say, and we've just been in the office there with the staff, and we enjoy coming to work.
Yeah.
We enjoy each other's company, and there's not one person more important than the other. That, a collective gets the job done, not just one person. I know I head it up as manager, and the staff I brought in, but everyone contributes.
Yeah, just had Ollie Kensdale on, and he was talking about the togetherness, and but he was saying that York away was his toughest point, but you showed the resilience from that point. I mean, how tough was? I remember that Monday, even wondering whether we could fulfill the fixture on the Tuesday.
Well, we were in the office till 9:30, 10 o'clock on Monday night, trying to get players over the line, coming in and out, and like we're going, what is going on here? Like, what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we had a player suspended, what shouldn't have been suspended, but with the league, like we're going. I come home that night and I spoke to, so we have Stu that whoever comes into the club to thing, I had to ring him up on the way home. Like,
oh really? Yeah.
Just because listen, I bottle things up a lot, you know what
I
mean? And even then I had to ring him up and go, I need to talk something. You know what I mean? And it's stuff like that, and I think, like you touched on, I think people have had that tough times, but having someone there helps. And Ken's, that was, I think York away was where everyone's frustration probably come to the fore. I think fans, everyone, you know what I mean? But human beings are resilient. And I think you don't know how resilient you are till you put in situations.
Yeah, you mentioned the fans; they've been a huge part. I know we sort of say it, but they genuinely have, haven't they? The heartbeat of this club to keep it going. Because without them, you wouldn't have had them sort of as much. Motivation is the wrong word. You've always fired up, absolutely. But it means a lot more, doesn't it?
No, it does. Yeah, and I think football clubs are the fans.
Yeah,
they're the ones. You know what I mean? We can come and go. Managers will come and go. Chairman will come and go. Owners will come and go. It's the football fans who are the football club, and I think that's the most important thing that people got to remember. Whoever comes in and manages does the best they can to leave it in a better state.
Yeah.
And when you come, it helps if you've got a connection, which I think I have, to the club through playing and coaching, etc. And I think when you've got that, I think it's so important to keep that.
Yeah, definitely.
At the football club, and it's easy to lose, but it's hard to build that. And I think what we've got at the minute is a chance to build that.
Because it's also easy to forget how bad it was when you come in. I spoke to Jason Dimitri. I think he said it stunk inside and out, and he drove home. And that's before your time at the Chesterfield game, and was really worried for the future of the club. So you took over in that point, and sometimes we forget just how low it was, which is testament to the work that you've done. Yeah,
listen, I remember that first day. Me, Daz, and Benno walked in the office, and we're going, "Oh my God, what is going on?" And I'm not gonna. That's not a portion of blame to anyone.
Yeah.
Listen, I knew Phil Brown from anything, and that wasn't the Phil Brown team.
Yeah.
But the stuff that was going on in the building that weren't right, and the smell of fear. I spoke about that before. The smell of fear around the place for the staff.
It was toxic, wasn't it?
It was.
Probably the best word
it's probably the best word to use.
Yeah.
It was toxic, and I think that was something that had to be first and foremost before you build a football team. You've got to build a club, an atmosphere that people enjoy going to work in. And I think that's probably the biggest thing we had is to change the culture. We've got a group of players now that enjoy coming to work, despite conditions at times that have been very, very tough. You've got staff that want to come in and want to work.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest change for me that we had to do straight away.
When did you first start thinking that you wanted to be a manager? I know as a player, you were always one that could maintain stats, and not like many others. I know that's, but so when did you start to think it was something that just naturally evolved? Yeah,
naturally. I think I've always been. I always try. I chat with an old manager, and they say midfielders make the best managers. They got to think about the game of everyone's position. Centre halves become managers, midfielders used because they've got to think about everyone's position on the pitch. So no, it's something that quite naturally always wanted to go into it. It's funny because I watch matches at home and I'll be watching the missus and kids, and I go and I'll say something because I can see it, and then the commentator will say it. She can look at me and go, but I think that's your intuition.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's always something doing badges. I wanted to do it properly in terms and go and get me grounding, coaching younger kids, 16s, 21s. Working non-league at Chelmsford for a period, and then going being a part of the first team, which I hope stood me in good stead, knowing what situations come up, because it's a fickle business, and I think the average expectancy of a manager's I think it's 14, 15 months or something like that. Crazy, so it's crackers, you know what I mean? So always wanted to think, but I wanted it to be the right one and right time. Hopefully it is. And
what was it? Were you ever worried about coming back to Southend, where you're already a legend as a player? Was there a bit of you that were a little bit worried, or did you just think the club, it's in dire need of someone to sort it out?
Yeah, a bit of both. Yeah, there was always, I think you always have that doubt as a former player coming back, but I always ask myself the question. People say, what if it goes wrong? I always say, what if it goes right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And you would pick yourself if you didn't. You'd always wonder.
And I thought it was a good opportunity at the time to do it because of the situation it was in. I hoped it had bottomed out. I knew having a chief executive position was huge, because I'd seen when Steve Kavanagh left, the whole that left as well. So I thought that was an important area. And I thought it was time for. It felt right. That's what I could put it down to. I'd been in Bristol for 2.5 years, and I'm travelling a lot.
Yeah.
As much as I enjoyed it, I've got 3 young kids. I wanted to be home, and just the timing of everything felt right. And I felt my gut told me. And I think sometimes you've got to go with your gut on some things.
Because that must be quite hard side of football. Talking about mental health. I know you had a spell at older. I'm not sure how old your kids would have been at that point, but being away at Bristol Rovers, being away from your family, that's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely, because. I was getting up at and on the road at 5 o'clock on a Monday morning, back Tuesday night, back again Thursday, back Saturday sometimes. So a lot of travelling, and to be fair, to give my missus credit, that she's going to do a lot of that. She's working.
Yeah.
She's got to take the kids football.
Yeah.
And there's all that goes on, and the help we had around us obviously was good. But that's something that, people see the result on a Saturday, the match on a Saturday. They don't see what happens in between and all the sacrifice that goes on in between. And that was, as much as it was tough, it was enjoyable at the same time. It's work. I like work. I don't like not working.
We've certainly got enough work.
Not too much.
Yeah, and this season it's been incredible, hasn't it? The camaraderie, the performances. I know the league table doesn't reflect that because of the points deduction, but you can't do anything about that. So when you think at the start of the season, we didn't even know whether we could start. I mean, how worried were you?
I think that it was the week before, wasn't it, when everyone turned up to the stadium, and you just didn't know, did you? I think the hardest thing, and I think we talk mental health and stuff. The uncertainty leads to anxiety. When you've got clarity and you've got goals to aim for, and I do it with my kids, and I want them to set goals. And what do you want to achieve this year? And I go through it. It was funny enough with my oldest, he was 11 at the time, and he wrote his goals, and we look back and we go, "Oh, look, you've done that." You know what I mean? So I think the uncertainty of not knowing can lead to anxiety, which leads to mental health struggles, etc. But we come through it because of the togetherness of the team and the staff and the fans. And when that's all all pushing in the same direction, I think what you can achieve is more than you can ever believe sometimes. And I look back, as you say, start the season. It's funny because we done a little review of games and stuff during the week, of clips and best practices of what we do. You look at the Oldham game, how well we played, what a performance that was.
And that's incredible, because I remember we went 1-0 up. I remember thinking, I haven't really trained very much. Second half might be a bit of a worry. Shows what I know. Second half, score 3 goals, win 4-0.
I know. And what a performance. And you look back and you go, bag them away. What a performance that was. Like, you're watching the first 45, remember it going, wow, how good have they been? Dorking, we played brilliant for half.
Yeah, should have won, really.
Should have won. Where else have we, some of the performances have been incredible.
Woking was a good one.
Woking was brilliant. We've had Maidenhead at home, and we had the challenge we had going into that game with 2 subs and players we hadn't met before being involved. Going to Woking, as you say, with a keeper meeting us in pre-match. You know what I mean? So there's so many that we'll eventually look back on and go, wow, how do we do that?
Yeah, and Ollie Kensler touched on it as well, that you're quite strong on the mental health. He said you've looked after him quite a few times, so that's part of your management as well, to look after them as people rather than just players. Yeah,
I think it's first and foremost the human beings. Then the footballers next. I don't want them to be, because sometimes I think especially when you see footballers finish playing, they don't have that. They're always recognised as a footballer first, not who they were as a person. And I think it's important people do that. I give Ken's a book actually that I used to read. So there's little bits like that. And I know he's a young player and he's coming into an environment where you're left out once. You might not play. There's stuff that they've not faced before. But I want them to be comfortable in the building, and if there's anything going on, they can come to us and say they're struggling, and that's okay. You know what I mean? And it's one of the first things we did was open the door of the office, and it's open. If anyone don't even knock, just come in. What's up? You know what I mean? And I think that was always important. I'll be firm with them at the right time. I think that's important as well, not just to pander to everything, because I don't think that's right either. I think you've got to be, as a parent, you wouldn't do it to my own kids, so I wouldn't expect them. And I don't think you'd be doing right by people if you don't be firm at the right times as well. So listen, it's an important side of the game. Sometimes you've got to go, come on, roll your sleeves up. It's part of life, but it's the right time to go, come on, you're right, what do you need? You know what I mean? Yeah,
because it has improved a lot, hasn't it? You think back to your time as a player coming through at Tottenham and the early part of your spell at sort of Southend and that. It wouldn't have ever been spoken about, really, would it?
No, nothing. I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, it's something that you just get on with, isn't it?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's like, so it's something you learn about, and the more people are educated on it, the better, and understand people and why people act the way they act and react to stuff. I think that's hugely important, that you educate people, and I think for people themselves to understand themselves and what makes them tick, and what situations you might preempt something coming down the line by how you're acting now. You know what I mean?
Does it get spoken about when you do your badges, mental health or anything like that, or is it just incorporated about management as a whole?
Yeah, badges.
Are you a bit of Mark White on there?
No, I love doing my badges. I love my coaching badges, but there's certain things I can't teach you.
Yeah, like being Southend manager.
There should be a whole other one of that.
Yeah. You could run the course now.
Pro license, and then you've got that. Yeah. It's becoming more and more prevalent. If you want, in the badges and in the learning stuff, there is a lot more on that side of it coming.
Yeah.
I'm going back a few years. I finished my pro license now about 3 years ago, so they were touching on stuff, and there was elements of that. And I've done the LMA diploma. It's management, which there's an element of that in it as well. So it is definitely becoming more. There's more awareness about it.
Yeah. What question? What's been your favourite moment as a head coach?
Favourite moment? Probably, I think, the most satisfying bit is 5 o'clock on a Saturday, and you got the lads have performed.
Yeah.
And they've done what we want them to do, and they've looked like they enjoyed it. I think we have a thing, and we've lost games, but if we've lost playing the way we play, then sometimes you accept it.
Yeah,
but if they don't, and I don't expect them to hit every time, but I don't like it when we don't play how we play, because you can accept games when you do. As in a favourite moment off the top of my head, I don't know really.
Yeah, it's hard
to think of one, because we haven't had a final, a promotion yet. You know what I mean? And that's hopefully all to come.
Yeah, another one. How do you manage expectations and keep everyone in check and motivated even during the wage issues? If that's all right to answer. Nice, easy one.
I think it's having a common goal between the staff and players. I think that adversity brings out the best in people at times. It can bring out the worst. This is where I've got to give the players credit. I've got to say they've been brilliant, honestly. And there's a period of time where they couldn't come to the training ground because of there's no water, they can't shower, toilet, and all that. But they come and train properly, and that's a credit to them, honestly, how they go about their business and train properly every day. And that's something possibly I can give them the structure, I can give them the thing to do, but credit to the staff as well. That comes from within, I think. It probably needs someone to lead it, I think, obviously, and that comes from myself and the staff, but the players deserve huge amount of credit.
Yeah, and fast forward now, full circle to the future. I know there was an announcement today, but hopefully it can all get completed and we can look forward to. Imagine having 5 subs, all the luxuries that you can have.
It's the hardest bit for me at times, the manager, is picking the subs as well. And then with only 5 subs last, and you're leaving people out. It's horrible.
Yeah, at least I haven't got that this year.
No, I know. Yeah, which has been I won't moan anymore when I get. But it's the hope, isn't it? It's the hope that we're within touching distance, and there's some good people coming into the football club, and they're going to put it in the right direction.
And how are we looking for tomorrow? Obviously, tomorrow is the match for mine. So I know that you're a bit worried about 1 or 2 yesterday. How are we looking?
We've still got there's issues that going into the game, which any normal club would be able to think, but we can't. We had a bit of a bug going through the club this week, so 1 or 2 have had to be wrapped up a bit and see where they're at tomorrow. But it's the usual challenges. But what we will do is have a team that will be competitive and hopefully put a display on for the fans as well. Yeah,
and can Bo be registered? I know it's very early for him, but you can't even register the kids, can you?
No, that was something we were touching base with the National League on.
Yeah,
I know.
It's very bizarre, isn't it? And just a couple more. Obviously, John Benton, the way the things work out, it's just our luck, isn't it? But he goes there, someone you couldn't help but lose in the summer.
No.
Fair play, he's done well.
Yeah, no, it was one of them things that we had the option on John, and we wanted to keep him. He played for us last year. We gave him his opportunity, and he played in a couple of games. And we wanted him around the place because we thought he had something that would add to the squad. Still plenty to do, but in fairness to John, he wanted to go and play football and couldn't keep waiting. He said, which was fair enough. And it's one of them, like, as a young lad, I think he was at the age we needed to play football as well. To be fair to him,
he's 22, isn't he?
And he needs to play. And when players get that chance and they take it, you know, good luck to him. You know, and I hope he deserves everything he gets. And he's always worked hard at his game, and he's a very good footballer. And you know, I wish him the best of luck in the future.
Yeah, just not tomorrow. And the last one to end, then obviously, it is the match for mine tomorrow, and it's important to get that message sort of out there that if anyone is struggling to, you know, like we've both done and the players have done, that it's nothing to be ashamed of.
No, it's not. No, pick up the phone, drop a text, or you know, even if you think it's interesting, you just see the Norwich advert.
Yeah, it's incredible. Ken's mentioned that as well. It's incredible, wasn't it? Yeah, so good.
And it says a lot, doesn't it? Like, so that you might think, but it's just to check in on people that you think I haven't spoken to for a little while. And on a personal note, to speak up with whoever you probably don't realise you're feeling down at the time. That speak up, you know what I mean? Pick up the phone, anyone that you think, if you've got close family, friends, and go, you're living a bit crappier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fancy, like we say, you've got mates, go down some fancy a pint and we'll have a chat. You know what I mean?
That's 100%.
It's something as simple as that, and speaking to someone or having that someone close that you think you can trust and think, I think it's never as bad as you think in your head that it'll be.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you speak.
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And I think that's important to know.
Brilliant. So, man, that's great.
Cheers,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hope make it a good game tomorrow. So we'll try and stay awake.
I was going to say, you on the copies? Or
yeah, we've got a few different. Thank you. Yeah, I've got tea, Diet Coke. So.
By the way, you missed the chips.
No problem. No.
You're all right, aren't you? Don't worry about that.
To be fair, they ate most of them.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right.
Brilliant. So, man, I appreciate that. No, thank you for popping by. That's hugely appreciate it. Oh, yeah, you're still doing that every day?